I'm David H. Lawrence, 17th. Okay, good. How are you? It seems very distant. How about if I come on? How's this? Hi, I am not a star. I am not Sendel Ramamurthy, but apparently they're going to be here tomorrow, and so I get to sort of lead in today. How's everybody doing? You guys all look a little road hard to put away wet. So do I. Nothing like having your agent knock on your door at noon and say, are you going to be there? It was so dry in the hotel last time. It just was like, you get to sleep, and finally your body just goes, you're done. And that's it. Is this working or no? Turn that. Once. Check. Okay. Handheld better? Oh, that sounds great. Now I have one less hand to use, though. Cool. So, good morning, and welcome to the first day of Comic-Con, or DragonCon. That was on purpose. Sure it was. This is my first DragonCon, so bear with me as I get my sort of sea legs and try and figure out where everything is. I flew in yesterday on a flight that, if it were to have had a mishap, would have meant the destruction of sci-fi television as we know it. From Los Angeles, I mean, everybody was on this flight. And then when I got in the van to come over, Kevin Sorbo, Sean Astin, Mark Shepard, and Mia Von Doom were all in the van with me. So again, an accident would have been devastating to the entertainment industry. Horrifying. So the theme of the panel is, in which we meet our heroes, and unfortunately, two of the heroes you'll have to wait till tomorrow to meet. So you are meeting one of the villains, and I tell you, when I first saw the show, I was hooked from the moment Yudo tried to move the second hand backwards and finally succeeded, and when Claire jumped off the scaffolding and did it on video. I mean, I was just hooked on the show, and I thought to myself, these people are gorgeous. They're just all model quality people, and I'll never get on this show. As an actor in Los Angeles, you're sitting there, you're going, okay, which of the shows I'm going to target to get on? And it's basically anything. If your agent calls and says you have an audition for a Nickelodeon 15-minute weekend show, you're on your way, But I thought, this is a show I will absolutely never get on, because the people are just too beautiful, And then I realized that you need kind of ugly-looking people to make the beautiful people look even better. So when my agent called and said, you have an audition for heroes, I thought, oh, well, maybe they'll need someone for contrast. And I was in a room with every, you know how when you walk down the street, this happens to me every so often, people will recognize me, and they'll quizzically look at me, and I'll go, yes? Paul Giamatti? No. Uncle Fester? No. But the ones that you look at, and there's absolutely no way that you know their name, because they haven't gone to the lengths that my publicist has gone to make sure people know what my name is. And it was like hardcore guys that you see in every film, every television show, and they were all in this room, and they all were much larger than I am. I'm just a little short guy. And so I'm thinking to myself, well, this will be an exercise in fun, because rehearsals or auditions are always an exercise in fun. But yeah, I got no chance. And the sides that they gave me were really dark. They were fake sides, and most shows like this, they make sure that they don't let any of the plot lines out, even from the actors that are auditioning for the roles. So the writers actually write sides that are similar to what will be on the show, but not exactly what's in the show, so that, at one point in time after I got this, the rumor on the fan sites was that James Gandolfini had gotten the role. which was awesome. Because there was like, all this opportunity to surprise people in the end. But my sides that I had to rehearse with for my audition for this part had me sitting in a chair like this, looking at a bed. How many kids in the room? No? Cool. All right, let's talk. A bed with a woman that I had just had amazing sex with, but that I, as the puppet master, was done with. And I summoned in another woman to shoot her, and then I was gonna have her. And I'm like, really? That's where Heroes is going? Season 3? Awesome. And I will never forget that when I was done with my first take, there was a woman that was sitting just camera right, and she shuddered. And I thought, wow, I must have really gone up on a line or something, or I scared the crap out of her. And it turned out that that woman was one of the head of casting people at NBC. And so on my way home, I got a call from my agent saying, they put a pin in you. So they're just waiting for somebody to do sign off, who was on vacation. This was a Thursday, July 12th, 2008, not that I remember the date. 11:43 in the morning. And this guy had the temerity to be on vacation in June. And I didn't hear anything can you imagine how I spent that weekend until Monday? I did everything I could to just, get it out of my head and not worry about it. And said, there's a panel going on back here, apparently. Let's listen in on their panel. So that was interesting. But I saw all these people, and I would see these really creepy. The room in there was just filled. We're actually competing with them, aren't we? People are looking over. The room was filled with, people watching the audition. Like there were 9 people in the room when I walked in, but I had positioned myself opposite the doorway to the room because I wanted to know how many people were in there. I watched big, hulking, thug guys walking in going, whoa, I had no idea there were this many people. And that immediately sets you off your game. Anything that you've done to prepare to walk into the room, to own it. Well, when you're presented with 9 to 12 people sitting there staring at you the moment you walk in, and you usually expect 1 or maybe 2, someone to run the camera, maybe somebody to read with you, the casting director and the casting associate, or sometimes just the casting associate. You're by yourself, you're putting yourself on tape. But 9 people, the writers, the director of the episode, the people from NBC, the casting director, someone to run the camera, someone to read with me. It was, a massive group of people. And I just watched people, just actor after actor walk in and be jostled by that. So, a hint to those of you who are going to be auditioning, find out who's in the room so you're prepared for the size of the audience. And that was my first television booking. It was the first job I got as an actor. And I hear actors say all the time, there's no jobs for older actors. And I like to say, well, I got my first job at age 48. So, and I'd only been trying for a couple of years. So it can be done. You just need like a creepy puppet master role and then boom, you're in.